Hey everybody, and welcome back. Here's the digger as we left it before. It's on a bit of a slant. I shall take you around to show you what's happened. We've lost a little bit of hydraulic pressure. As a result of that, digger's somewhat leaning down. It's lost pressure in this jack and it's come down, and it shows you that the wheel is flat. That had a slow puncher anyway. Now, we had trouble with this torque control handle. Just to remind you, it wouldn't move up or down as it should do to get forward and reverse. I need to whip this panel off and just make sure that there's nothing preventing the linkage. Underneath this panel we've got our fuse box, and then we've got the steering hydraulics connections, and then we've got the fan piping and other various bits and pieces. Now up here, this is the linkage arm. There's the arm linkage, and it goes a rod into there and then follows this cable down. There's nothing appearing to block the rotation of the arm. I'll just give that a quick lube, but that seems to be fine. Let me get the gear lever out of the way. I've got a seat that won't move back. So I have fluid on that linkage now up there. As far as I can see, that's not an issue. It's going to be further down, probably maybe on the converter itself, where the cable goes down and is connected to there, and the linkage on that is perhaps rusted solid. So what I need to do now is trace this cable down. Let's go under here. Now, as you would expect, there's lots of fluid leaks. They're not major, but for a digger this age, that would be quite normal. So let's just take you around a bit. Here's where the torque converter fluid goes in. The pipe from the filler runs into here. Let's clear some of these drips off. We've got some drips on here. Clean those off. Looks as though that's just the nut needs tightening on those two connections. This is the heater tube coming down here to the heater box. One of the tubes has come off and it should be attached to this. Accelerator pedal. The cable for the torque converter control arm is this one here, coming down and going over the other side. Here is the brake for the digger, and it's right at the back end and it's rather furred up. This looks all right. The connections to the rear axle, substantially made. Here is that torque converter cable coming round and making its connection. This is the thing that we can't move at the moment. Let's just show you things while I'm under here that I've noticed. One of the filters, that looks as though that's completely snapped off the bracket, so it's just resting there at the moment, which is not good. Just using a bit of brake cleaner. This is the gearbox here and the gear linkage here. Squirt a bit of that in there, I think. Move out of the way and let that drip down, then I clean it off and put some penetrating oil on that. Clutch, pivot points. This bracket here should move backwards and forwards when the clutch is engaged, and at present that is not moving, so that's another thing that needs to be rectified. freeing off a bit. That's not perfect. But it's better than it was. As I pull that up and down, you can see that it moves the lever along here, and then that's able to engage and disengage that part of the gear selection. So now that I've got this working freely, I still cannot move the actuator handle, which is this plate here that gives the torque converter forward and reverse motion. So I need, as I say, to test this cable and make sure that this is free moving. So the next thing to do is to take this off and see if I can make that move on its own. There's a clip there. I can't seem to access a split pin or no, nothing there. So I'm going to undo this here. And see if I can turn this cable out. Not sure how. It looks as though that's screwed into there, so I'm not going to be able to turn that out unless I'm not going to be able to take that off like that. That's obviously, you'd have to turn the cable, and as it's a rod and there's no method of turning that, I'm going to have to take it off. I would have to take it off here and up at the lever. Now, of course, I would probably have to do that anyway, but as I say, I'm just trying to find out whether this is free moving or not at the moment. So my alternatives are to remove the rod, or certainly take out this pin here, the pivot point, and remove this plate. Then I can unscrew this and then pull off that plate there. Okay, so we got that bracket out of the way. So now we need to undo this nut. Let's just take that off. That's a better way of doing it. See if I can get that nut through that orifice. Oh, there we go. That's taken the nut out. It's a little pressed flange nut. Now this is the plate, so I need to make sure that that goes. Take note of where that goes. Take that off. The key is to try and get that out of the way. If I can. And if I can't, then I'll be taking off this bracketry, and it doesn't look as though I can get it over the top of that. There's the bracket. and the broken off bracket that holds this filter on. So I'll have to get this off at some point and weld that back on, but again, that's not my priority. Okay, so there's the bracket. So as you can see, that moves quite freely, and that is the rotation that I need to make the torque converter, the handle, move, make the machine move forward and backwards. So that is free, which is good news. So I'm starting to think the culprit is our friend the cable. Let's just try and pull on this now. I'm not getting any movement on that whatsoever. I don't know what that pin is. There's a pin there. It looks as though it's sealed so that you have to screw that cable in, which is the normal way. So I'll just take that off. So that would go on there like that and move backwards and forwards, and you can see it's moving as it should do. So I'm just going to go up into the cab and try that cable again, see if it's free. No, nothing at all. So it's time now to remove cable. So we need to take these nuts off and then drop that down from the bracket. So I have my nice new 10 metric spanner set to use. I bought these for quality, so I hope they prove their worth. I'm hoping you can see this under here. This is where it's connected. Again, I'm trying to be a contortionist. Well, this doesn't seem to be playing ball. It's coming. Yeah, I think that's got it. There we go. That's got it out of the bracketry. So now, to get it off the lever, there we go, that's the bolt out. That's right, that'll be the steering handle in the way. That's typical. Ah dear. Well, what do you know? You've got to take the steering wheel off. Apply a bit of heat to this. And yes, I'm melting the steering wheel, which was what I thought I would do. But I'm stuck. How to get this off when it's jammed. If I hit it too hard, I'm going to smash it anyway. I'll try and go in a bit closer. Yeah, right, okay, a bit of heat there. So now I can move this, take this handle out. So hopefully now I can pull that through. So here's the cable, and I tried pulling this and I know it's heavy duty stuff, but I should be able to get something from it, and I'm not getting anything. I suspect it's either broken inside or it's rusted somehow inside. That's all we have time for. I'll be looking at the cable next time, and hopefully I'll get the digger moving. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.